On special offer today, the tale of a West Midlands meat business that's an authentic model of sharing to supply the public sector. Before Foot and Mouth, the Bradshaw Brothers, Howard Bradshaw's father and uncle, ran an abattoir in Staffordshire.
It was aged, the abattoir. New rules and regulations were being brought in, and we couldn't see much of a future in the abattoir sector as it was already over-capacitised. So we thought about branching away from it.
With the brothers senior reaching retirement, Howard and his brother decided to make a major investment back on the family farm.
We converted one of the sheep lairage pens to a cutting plant, which is EU approved, and which we continue to serve our butchers from the abattoir days.
Although the Bradshaws missed out on some grant money that might have been available, they did have cash in hand after selling their abattoir.
So a lot of it was self-funded. It has been a struggle to do it, but there again it is coming to fruition now.
Alongside the £100,000 cutting plant and the wholesale side of their business, the Bradshaws opened the perfect farm shop for both local residents and passing trade.
All the meat in there is home produced. We do our own bacons, sausages, different varieties. We tend to stick to Hereford beef, but we do run some Longhorns, all Gloucester L-spot pigs. We have got a few different rare breed pigs as well that we mix in from time to time. Also a bakery, all our own pies, breads, cakes. We have a full-time baker, even little models of Bradshaw vans. We've kind of hit on a niche market. Local people like to come up and look at the livestock. When we was in the old shop, we'd never think of showing carcasses to the general public. But why hide it? Promote it.
But the Bradshaws are also part of a supply chain, even wider than their shop counter. Dennis Stubbs farms 100 acres at Swinfen, near Lichfield. One of his more unusual enterprises are these goats he keeps for mohair.
A self-financing hobby. I don't think they lose any money, but they certainly don't get much.
But Dennis also sends sheep and cattle to the Bradshaws. He's been doing so for more years than he cares to remember, with just a brief interruption while the cutting plant was being built.
We've started again more or less as before, and they're having pretty well everything that I supply.
He's a local man, local to the Lichfield area. He uses local hauliers to take his produce to the local abattoir where we fetch it from. So there's not many food miles involved in that and not much transport. From
the farm onto the table with as little aggro as possible, particularly for the livestock. It's partly the welfare of the animals, partly the welfare of me. I imagine it suits the Bradshaws as well.
Well, we try to give him a premium for his lambs. Also, he does get the opportunity to come up and have a look at his lambs, and he knows where they're going. He uses local feed merchants as well. So it is a bit of a circle, really. Everybody gets to benefit from it.
And Dennis even completes that circle by being a regular customer in the Bradshaw's farm shop. So presumably, he's happy enough with that premium price he's getting for his lambs.
Don't tell Howard that, but...
And of course, the product that Dennis supplies and the Bradshaws process is also finding its way into the public sector.
When we moved up the farm here, we'd already got a number of private nursing homes that we served. We thought the way forward for the cutting plant, being as a demise of butcher shops on the high street in general, would be to push forward and try and serve a few more of the Staffordshire and local councils.
The public sector represents about 10% of the Bradshaw Brothers business. It's an alternative market to their existing wholesale and retail markets that they currently supply. If you are going to be successful in supplying the public sector, it does require a little bit of a risk. And in the case of Bradshaw Brothers, it's been investing in the cutting plant.
Staffordshire County Council actively prefers sourcing fresh and local produce from businesses like the Bradshaws.
We just wanted small independent butchers because we thought we'd get a better service from them.
To make it easier for small companies, contracts are split up into lots, usually between 9 and 12 apiece. Suppliers like Howard can then bid for an individual lot.
He started with one area, and then we had a contractor who retired, and we offered Mr. Bradshaw that area, and he said thank you very much, and now he does 2 areas.
This Lichfield nursery has to feed 25 youngsters a day. The local authority sees the responsibility as an opportunity to improve on the processed and snack food increasingly being offered back at home.
The amount of children who come to us without any breakfast is quite high, so we actually end up giving them a breakfast when they come through.
The children have fresh fruit at 10 o'clock snack time and drinks, and also at midday they have a 2-course freshly cooked meal. That's a dinner and a pudding.
At 3 o'clock there will be a small afternoon tea for them as well. So we know we're giving them as much as possible over the course of the time that we have them.
All of the nursery's meat is supplied by Bradshaw Brothers.
Very, very good quality meat. It really is of the highest standard. Bearing in mind that we use mostly forequart of meat and it takes a bit to cook, we have very little plate waste, even with the little ones here. We don't throw all that much away as far as the plate goes.
But the council is also buying a high level of service.
We are an important customer to Mr Bradshaw, so therefore he does his best for us. Cooks here know that if something goes wrong, they can ring up a supplier, like Mr Bradshaw, and say, we've had an accident or whatever, can we have the order again, please? 9 times out of 10, they will deliver almost immediately.
The Bradshaws did just that when the nursery had to query an order for eggs, which the company also supplies.
They were in date, but only by a few days, and we don't tend to use eggs as quickly as other establishments might. So I did phone up and ask for replacements, and they came straight away and replaced the eggs for us.
For Howard Bradshaw, public procurement is good business.
You're not so much affected by weather, different times of year. The orders are very constant, you know what they're going to want. They are easy to serve.
We look at the prices quarterly. We then set the prices for the next quarter after those prices come in. If something out of the ordinary happens and the price of beef suddenly shoots up, he knows he can come to us, and as long as he can prove why he wants the increase, we will obviously agree it. On the understanding, of course, if when the beef prices go down, so are his prices.
And supplying the public sector also drives business back to the farm shop. Catering managers can buy bread and eggs here, and staff regularly become Bradshaw customers in their own right.
The shop's always full, and I've always found it the highest quality.
What we've got with the Bradshaws is an excellent example of a family-owned business that are in all elements of the supply chain, producer to wholesale butcher, right through to retail, and now successfully supplying into the public sector.
Hopefully we'll be serving more councils local to our area. You're guaranteed for 3 years you can make some sort of long-term plan. I hope the farm shop's going to go from strength to strength. I think it is just a way forward now, a way forward.